Saints, some time ago, quite a while back, I had no interest in the end times, the book of Revelation, the tribulation, the rapture. I didn't look into it. It all seemed very confusing to me. And then one day, quite unexpectedly, the Holy Spirit moved upon me and something happened. And I've been trying to share those things. And I can best first enter into these things by telling you this. Just what Paul said. All I can do is read what Paul said in Galatians 1:11 and 12. For I would have you know, brethren, that the gospel which was preached by me, or I would say, these end times messages which are shared by me, is not according to man. For I neither received it from man, nor was I taught it. I didn't receive these things from man. I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't looking to study the end times. It didn't come from man. I didn't go to a school or a college, nor was I taught it, Paul said. But I received it through a revelation of Yeshua, the Messiah. Or as many of you would say, I received it through a revelation of Jesus Christ. And it first started once the Holy Spirit moved upon me that day. I went to the book of Revelation and I opened up that book and I started to read. And I read in Revelation 1:1 the revelation of Yeshua, the Messiah, or the revelation of Jesus Christ. And it changed my whole life. It changed my whole thinking right then and there. I knew I had come to the gate, to the door, to understanding the last book of the Bible. Because when I read that, the revelation of Yeshua the Messiah, or the revelation of Jesus Christ, I immediately there went to Matthew 7:13 and 14. And there we read, enter ye in at the narrow gate. For the way that leads to destruction is wide and spacious, and those who follow it are many. I understood immediately the connection where the Lord was taking me. Enter by the narrow gate. He said He's the gate. He's the door. He's the entrance. Enter ye by the narrow gate. He's that narrow gate, that narrow door. For the way that leads to destruction. All these teachers and preachers and people that share the book of Revelation, 99% of them got one thing in common. Destruction, death, despair. One horrible thing after another. But when I read, when the Holy Spirit come upon me, the revelation of Yeshua the Messiah, the revelation of Jesus Christ, I knew a door had been opened to me. A gate had been opened. Enter ye in at the narrow gate. The narrow door. He's the door. He's the way. He's the truth. Christ Himself is the life. Into this book, this last book of the Bible. For the way that leads to destruction is wide and spacious. And those who follow it are many. Many teachers. Many sites. Many books, many CDs that lead you to destruction. And in verse 14, because narrow is the gate. Narrow is the gate, the door. And confined is the way. Christ said He was the door, He was the way. And confined is the way which leads unto life. This last book of the Bible is full of life. It's a revelation of Jesus, of Yeshua. It's a wonderful revelation of Him. Because narrow is the gate, and confined is the way which leads unto life. He's the life. He's the way. He's the truth. He's the light. He's the life. Because narrow is the gate, and confined is the way that leads unto life. And there are few who find it. There are so few that have seen what the Lord showed me. And I'm trying to share these things. And starting today, I'm going to take one chapter at a time. I have where I go through the book of Revelation, verse by verse, through the entire Bible in a rather basic way. But this time I want to go through it one chapter at a time, highlighting that chapter. The grace, the life, the way, the truth, the Lord that's in these things. And I want to share those things one chapter at a time. Because we saw, because narrow is the gate and confined is the way which leads unto life, and there are few who find it. And what did he also say? What did the Lord say in John 10:9? I am the gate. He is the gate. He's the door. He's the way, the truth, the life, into the last book of the Bible. I am the gate. If anyone comes in through me, he will be saved. He will come and go and find pastures. If you enter this book through him, through that way, through that truth, through that life, you'll go in and out and find food. You'll find nourishment. You'll share. You'll have that bread from heaven. You'll eat his flesh and drink his blood in this book. The thief comes only to steal and slaughter. All those have had nothing but death, slaughter, destruction. The thief comes only to steal, slaughter, and destroy. That's what you've been having. I'm not trying to pick on anybody. But when the Holy Spirit came upon me and I read that first part of that book of Revelation, the revelation of Yeshua the Messiah, the revelation of Jesus Christ, I saw the way, the door, the truth, the life. The thief comes only to steal, to slaughter, and destroy. Like it said there, for the way that leads to destruction is wide and spacious, and those who follow it are many. Endless book CDs, but who brings you to life? I'm coming to bring you to the life. Let's go through this book and see the life and the light that's in it. And he says, I have come that they might have life and have it abundantly. Do you think that God, as it's went through the whole Old Testament leading up to the coming of Christ, the Gospels, Christ himself, his life, his death, his resurrection, the books of Acts and the epistles, the foundation of Christ through the apostles, the building up of that temple, this entire book being about the life, the glory, the power, the way, the truth, the life, the door. Do you think that God came to the last book of the Bible just to bring us death and destruction and despair? Because that's a wide road and many are on it. But we're going to go into that narrow gate, that way, that truth, that life that is Christ. The revelation of Yeshua the Messiah, the revelation of Jesus Christ. Some translations just go on with a sentence. Some have a comma there, and some have a period there, ending it. That's what you gotta put, a period right there. That this book, this last book of the Bible, is the revelation of Yeshua the Messiah. That's where you start this. That's that narrow gate. That's that way that'll take you to truth and light and life. And we're going to enter in on that, saints. We're going to enter that gate. Because when we come to that gate, that door, what does the Lord say in Revelation chapter 3, verse 7, to those saints in Philadelphia? What did he say? He who is holy, who is true, who has the key of David, who opens and no one will shut, and who shuts and no one opens. He's the one, he's the key. He has the key to this book. He has the key to the end times. He has the key to the glory and the power of this book. It's full of life. And we're going to enter that narrow gate and go on that way and find the truth and the life and the light in this book. He has that key. If he unlocks this to you, it's open to you. But with that same key, he can lock it and shut that door. Because those that are on the broad road to destruction ain't entering through the Lamb, the Son of the living God. And that's the way we're going, saints. One chapter. Every time I bring a new message, we're going to go through the book of Revelation, one chapter at a time, not verse by verse. We're going to see the Son, the glory, the way, the truth, and the life of this last book of the Bible, and you're going to be shocked. Come with me. Let's go and see. Let's enter that gate. Let's go on that way and see that light, which brings truth and life. Saints, we're going in that gate and seeing the Son of the living God.